Fredrick Douglass, From Slavery to Freedom. Fredrick Douglass is one of the most influential abolitionist writers and civil rights leaders in American history. Both born into slavery, he overcame incredible hardships to become a powerful voice against slavery and a champion for equality. His life story is a remarkable example of courage, determination, and the power of education. Fredrick Douglass was born around February 1818 in Talbot County, Maryland. Because enslaved people were often denied basic information about themselves, Douglass never knew his exact birth date. He was separated from his mother at a young age, which was a common practice among slaveholders. As a child, he experienced the cruelty of slavery firsthand. He witnessed beatings, injustice, and a denial of basic human rights. One of the turning points in Douglass's life came when he was sent to live with Hugh and Sophia in Baltimore. Sophia initially began teaching him the alphabet. However, when her husband discovered this, he ordered her to stop. Hugh believed that education would make an enslaved person difficult to control. Ironically, this warning inspired Douglass even more. He realized that literacy was connected to freedom. Determined to learn, he secretly taught himself to read and write by studying books, newspapers, and science. He even exchanged bread with poor white children in order for reading lessons. As Douglass learned more about the world, he became increasingly aware of the injustice of slavery. Reading about freedom and human rights strengthened his desire to escape. However, this knowledge also brought pain because he better understood the harsh reality of the situation. Despite the risks, he continued educating himself and preparing for freedom. During his years in slavery, Douglass endured brutal treatment. One particularly significant experience involved Edward Covey, a man known for breaking the spirits of enslaved workers. Covey frequently beat and abused Douglass. After months of suffering, Douglass fought back during one confrontation. Though he did not win a physical victory in a traditional sense, the act of resistance transformed him psychologically. Later, Douglass described this moment as a point when he regained his sense of manhood and self-respect. He realized that his spirit could not be completely enslaved. In 1838, Fredrick Douglass successfully escaped from slavery by disguising himself as a sailor and traveling north. He could not have done this without Anna, his newfound friend. I'll do a video on her. After reaching freedom, he settled in New Bedford, Massachusetts with his wife Anna Murray Douglass, a free black woman who had supported his escape. Although free, Douglass still faced discrimination and prejudice. Nevertheless, he was determined to use his voice to fight for justice. Douglass soon became involved in an abolitionist movement, which sought to end slavery throughout the United States. His powerful speaking abilities quickly gained attention. Audiences were amazed by his intelligence, eloquence, and first-hand knowledge of slavery. Many people found it difficult to believe that someone who had once been enslaved could speak with such skill and insight. In 1845, Douglass published his famous autobiography, Narrative of the Life of Fredrick Douglass, an American Slave. The book detailed his experiences in slavery and exposed the cruelty of the institution. It became a bestseller and helped strengthen the abolitionist movement. The narrative provided undeniable evidence that enslaved people possessed intelligence, humanity, and a desire for freedom, despite the racist beliefs of the time. Because the publication revealed his identity and former owners, Douglass faced the risk of recapture. To avoid this danger, he traveled to Britain and Ireland, where he spoke against slavery and gained international support. Admirers eventually raised money to legally purchase his freedom, allowing him to return to the United States without fear of being re-enslaved. Throughout his life, Douglass continued to advocate for equality. He founded newspapers, including the North Star, which promoted abolition and civil rights. His famous motto was, "Right is of no sex, truth is of no color, God is the Father of us all, and we are all brethren." This reflected his belief that all people deserved equal rights regardless of race or gender. During the American Civil War, Douglass strongly supported President Abraham Lincoln and encouraged African Americans to join the Union Army. He did this because Abraham Lincoln was thinking about bringing back slavery. If it wasn't for Fredrick Douglass, people would have been recaptured against their will, even people who were already legally free. He believed that military service would help secure both freedom and citizenship for Black Americans. Two of his sons served in the Union forces. Douglass also met with Lincoln to advocate for fair treatment of Black soldiers and equal opportunities after the war. Until slavery was abolished through the 13th Amendment, Douglass continued fighting for justice. He advocated for voting rights, equal protection under law, and educational opportunities for formerly enslaved people. He was also an early supporter of women's rights and attended the historic Seneca Falls Convention, where he spoke in favor of women's suffrage. Douglass held several government positions throughout his later years. He served as U.S. Marshal for the District of Columbia, Recorder of Deeds, and Minister to Haiti. His achievements were extraordinary considering the obstacles he had faced as a child born into slavery. Fredrick Douglass died on February 20, 1895, at the age of 77. By the time of his death, he had become one of the most respected leaders in America. His writings, speeches, and activism helped shape the nation's understanding of freedom, equality, and human rights. Fredrick Douglass's legacy continues to inspire people around the world. His life demonstrates the power of education, perseverance, and courage. Despite being born into a system designed to deny him freedom, he refused to accept the limitations placed upon him. Instead, he transformed himself into a leader whose words helped change history. Today, Fredrick Douglass is remembered not only as an abolitionist, but also as a symbol of resilience, hope, and enduring fight for justice.